Hello and welcome to today's webinar for geometry. Today we're going to be doing 5.3 medians and altitudes of a triangle part 1. Today is March 11th and we're actually going to be doing this in class, so you guys will watch this in class. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to hand out a mentor text and you are going to look through it for 2 to 3 minutes and you will talk to the person next to you about what you find from the mentor text. So we will move along into the lesson now. So pause it and then we will move along into the lesson after 2 or 3 minutes of talking about the mentor text. Alright, so today we are going to be talking about the median of a triangle, and the median of a triangle is a segment whose endpoints are on the vertex of the triangle and the midpoint of the opposite side. So if you're looking down here on this triangle down below, B is the vertex of the triangle and the set line BF is the median because it goes to the middle of the opposite side. So we're talking about the median of the triangle. And the centroid is where the three medians meet each other, and that is what when the 3 points are concurrent, where all three of these lines meet. BF, AD, and CE, they all meet at one point P, which is called the centroid. So there's a special property that goes along with the medians of a triangle and the points of concurrency. And the medians of the triangle intersect at this point are 2/3 the distance of the whole line. So what I'm saying here is if I'm talking about the line AP, AP is 2/3 of the line AD. 2/3 the line AD, which means then, hopefully, you can see that PD would be 1/3 AD. So added on, PD is going to be 1/3 of AD. So that's an extra little thing that we have down there, and I'll write that a little bit better here. I don't know what's going on here. But PD equals 1/3 AD. So that's the way it's always going to be. It's going to be the little things are the little extra pieces. So there's the big piece and the little piece. The big piece is 2/3, the little piece is 1/3. So BP is then 2/3 of BF, and CP is 2/3 of CE. And so that's the property for medians of a triangle, and this point is called the centroid. And the cool thing about the centroid is that this is actually the balance point of the triangle, and so if I put a pencil in the middle of this triangle and kind of held it up by that point, that triangle would balance on that pencil point. And that's kind of the cool thing about the centroid. So moving along now, we're going to use that property, and so here's our example. So if you'd like to try it on your own, please try it on your own. If not, then you can watch this and I will go through it. So it says in the triangle RST, Q is the centroid. So that means that this is the centroid, so that means going from the angle to the opposite side, this piece is equal to that piece, these pieces are equal, and these pieces are equal because the point U, V, and W are the medians of the triangle. So they're the midpoints of the opposite sides. And then they said that SQ, which they marked as 8, they want us to find QW and SW. So they want us to find the whole thing. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find SW, because I know that SQ from the previous property is equal to 2/3 of SW. Well, I'm going to plug in what I know. I know that SQ is 8, so 8 will equal 2/3 SW, and now I just solve it algebraically. You'll notice I'm taking SW and dividing by 3, so I'm going to multiply by 3, which then gives me 24 equals 2 SW, and then if I divide by 2, SW equals 12. So that's the length of the whole side. So then, if I know that SQ is 8, and I know that the whole side is 12, to find QW, then I'm just going to take, so QW plus SQ needs to equal SW, and if I solve it like an algebra problem, QW is what I'm trying to find, so QW will remain plus SQ, which is 8, which equals 12. And solving it algebraically for QW, I subtract 8 across the equal sign, and QW will equal 4, which is really 1/3 of 12, like I said before. If I know the whole length and I take 1/3, that gives me the shorter length. Take 1/3 of 12, that gives me my shorter length. And if I take 2/3 of 12, I will get the longer length. So there's example 1. We're having a little technical difficulties here. Let's get in here. All right, moving along. So in example 2, it says P is the centroid of the triangle QRS. So again, these are medians. RT is a median, QP is a median, and S, we don't have a side over there, S something. We'll say, oh, we don't, Q, not QP. So let's see, we've got R, S, Q. We have RP. We don't need any other points, so that's okay. So we're saying that PT, the little side down here, is 5. And we want to find RT and RP. Alright, so what I would do is, since I know that the small piece is really 1/3 of the whole length, I'm going to say, well, 1/3 of RT needs to equal PT. So I plug in what I know. I know that really RT divided by 3 is really 1/3 of that. It should equal 5. And if I solve this algebraically, I multiply by 5 across the equal sign. And RT, oops, I was supposed to multiply by 3, wasn't I? Multiply by 3 on both sides. Oh, I can't write 3's today. Multiplying by 3 on both sides, RT is 15. Well, if that's 15, then RP must be what's left over. If I take 15, take away 5, so RP is 10. Okay. So now we're going to ask to find, we're given the vertices as ordered pairs. So if you want to do this example, please pause it and copy it down and follow the steps over here. So the first thing it says is plot the points. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to plot the points. F is 2, 5, so this is 0, 0 down here. So if I go over 2 and up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there is point. Oh, I can actually, I don't need this. I can take point F right here. Oops. I can take point F and drag it. So 2 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and put it right there. There's my 2, 5. And then G is 4, 9. So if I go over 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9, and H is 6 over, so 4 and 1 up, looks something like that. And so now I have my graph. I've calculated, and now if I calculate the midpoint of each side, then I can draw a line. So I'm going to first draw in the triangle itself, and I'll use red because that's the points are red. I'm going to draw my red sides in here, and this is what you should be doing too. So I've got those, and then it says find the distance from G. Oh, okay, so it says calculate the midpoint of FH and draw in the median. So FH is this line right here. So that's, I'm going to calculate the midpoint of it, because that's where the median will meet. And so my midpoint formula is x1 plus x2 divided by 2, and y1 plus y2 divided by 2. And these are supposed to be curved, but I don't know why they didn't come out that way. So if I take my x's and add them together, I add 2 and 6 together. So 2 plus 6 divided by 2 will give me my x coordinate, and my y coordinate is 5 and 1. So 5 plus 1 divided by 2. Well, if I take these guys, it's 8 divided by 2, which gives me a midpoint of 4, and 5 plus 1 divided by 2 would give me 3. So if I count over 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and up 3, you can see that green point that I just drew in there is my midpoint of that side. So now I'm going to draw a line from that point at the top to my midpoint. Now, it's asking us to find the distance. Now, if this line that I drew in here, this green line that I just drew in here, wasn't a nice vertical line like it is, I would have to use the distance formula to find the length of that line. But since this line is a nice little vertical line, to find the distance to point G, I can just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the distance from G to the midpoint is 6 units. So it says determine the coordinates of the centroid, which is 2/3 the distance from point G. So if I take 2/3 of 6, I will find that it is 4 from point G. 1, 2, 3, 4. So my centroid would be that point, and then I could draw in the other lines that go through there, and they would run in at the midpoint of the other side. So if I draw those lines in, you can see if I draw a line here straight across, it runs into the midpoint of that side. And likewise, this guy will run into the midpoint of this diagonal side also. And we could calculate those midpoints, but we don't need to. So now, oh, there's my solution, so I don't really have to go through that right there. That's the solution to the last problem. Oh, whoops, and I should go back. So the point that they're looking for, they're asking us for what is the coordinates of the centroid, which would be, looks like 4 over and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up, and so that would be B, 4, 5. Okay, and that was the answer they were looking for this one. And you can see that by the solutions on this page too, so you can look at them. I'm not going to do anything else there. It is all, you can just look at it. Alright, so now we're going to talk about the centroid here, and it says R is the centroid of triangle STU, and SR is 16, so find SV and RV. Okay. And RV is not the school just around the neighborhood. We're trying to find the length of RV. Alright, so if RS is 16, so pause it if you want to, but RS is 16, and so I know that that's the longer side of my median, so that means it's 2/3 the length of SV. So I'm going to say SV is going to equal to 2/3 SR. And so now plugging in what I know SR is 16. Oops, I did that backwards, didn't I? Let's try this again. It is SR is 2/3 of SV, of the whole thing. So it's the longer side is 2/3 the length of the whole thing. So SR then is going to equal 2/3 of SV, and I'm going to find that first, and SR is 16. Now, I don't know how much algebra you guys have had, or I know a little bit, but I also don't know how much you've dealt with dividing by fractions. But I'm going to multiply by the flip of that fraction. So I'm going to multiply by 3 over 2. And that if you look, if I multiply 3 by 2, on top I get 6, and on the bottom I also get 6. So 6 over 6 is 1. So I'm going to multiply this side by 3 over 2 to keep it the same. And when I do that, I believe I will get 24 for my length of SV. 24 for the length of SV. Well, I know that if the whole thing is 24 and this part is 16, if I subtract 24 and take away 16, that'll get me my length of RV, which will be 8. And let's pull out the solution over here and see what they have over here, just to see if we're good. And there you go. There's my SV is 24, and my RV is 8. So that's what I was looking for.